I'm here today with Diesel Laws for my Wednesday hump dump, my hump day brain dump. Now, Diesel sent an email around late last week announcing the closure of his startup. And I was super impressed by this email. It showed maturity, it showed wisdom, it showed common sense, and it was completely the antidote to sunken loss theory.
Thank you
Your
very
business
much.
had been around for like 6 months. You launched in July 2011.
Yeah, well, nearly a year in a way, yep. So we've been running it on and off.
What was the business and what went wrong?
So the business was Barkles. It was a side-by-side debating website. And the easiest way to explain it is we never defined our problem that we were actually solving. We always thought that we'd sort of work out and run into a problem and be able to solve it. But we were sort of loosely creating a fun product. And I must admit, I started the website well before I was actually into the entrepreneur scene. And I actually had people around me that knew what they were doing. And so that's probably one of the main reasons why.
What I find fascinating is you're a usability expert. That's your game. So when you were looking at it, you were probably looking at the technology and the exciting possibility of the Barkles platform.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I kind of felt like there was some problem that was missing, and also in terms of the actual product, I thought, maybe if we if we design it well and if we create it well, then people will go, this is what's needed, and obviously that didn't happen.
Let's explain what it was. So it was basically a widget that was it widgetized?
It was actually a website at the moment, yeah.
It was a website where you could throw up a debate.
Exactly. So you could simply ask a question, and people could choose either yes or no, agree, disagree, and so you could have side-by-side opinions, which were quite simple to do. So I didn't even get the elevator pitch right after a while. So it's been about a year and I still can't get that right.
But it looked beautiful and it worked really, really well.
Thank you. Yeah, well, design is probably my main strength. And recently I've got involved in UI, so user interfaces, so a bit more about the design, and also user experience, as you say. So.
And you also mentioned in that email the financial side of things.
Yeah, so one of the things when you're building a consumer-facing app is you've got to really focus on either working out how to actually make money off it in the future, and like Twitter's finding now, tacking on a payment solution on the back end is probably the worst way to do it. So to make our product financially viable, we probably would have had to pivot into the business world and probably push it towards the schools, which are sort of already using it, and make it a bit more private. So an enterprise model. And it's just, our passion didn't lie there. That's really what it was. And so we could have possibly pushed into that field and seen if there was money there and whatnot, but it wasn't where we wanted to go.
I'm looking at what you've got, what you had there, and I reckon you had this awesome thing where the functionality, the fundamentals, the form were all brilliant, but when looking at the market and the reach and the target audience, suddenly wasn't there.
Exactly. It was just a bit too open, a bit too for everyone, and we were literally in the process of considering which path to take it down. So that's where we kind of come to the head of, it's either for a school, it's for education and whatnot, or we make it for politics. And we had
market
that,
research.
Exactly. Yeah, that one. So we had that trouble from the start, and I felt as if we'll see how it goes for everyone. And then as we go on, we'll work out what category it fits into, which is the worst way you can do it. It's like really know who your product's for, what problems you're solving, and then work on actually building it for a niche audience. I think it's a good way to go to start.
Is it still live if anyone wants to have a look at it?
It is, yeah. Barkles.com.
All right.
Yep. So that's
just running on autopilot for the time being.
It's we're monitoring it as well because we said we're going to be up till the 1st of June. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah, so we're being honest with that.
Well, I just have to say once again how much I admired that email.
Thank you.
And the challenge that we all have as entrepreneurs sometimes is just knowing when we're working with the living dead. It's showing promise. It's almost alive, but it's not quite alive. But it's always going to be, unfortunately.
Exactly. I think one of the hardest things is calling it quits before your business has completely fizzled away.
Yeah.
If that is the case. And I mean, they say pivot. You don't know whether pivot or persevere. That's the two things that come up. I think the third one is close it down. So, we pivoted a few times, we persevered for quite a while, and we just worked out, if we close it down, then we can actually really focus on solving the problem for the next time. And you've got to be honest. I think you've got to look at it hard, and entrepreneurship is not easy. And it's definitely, it's a long journey. It's sort of a marathon. So
there you have it, folks. I'm going to try and convince Diesel here to write a series for Anthill called Autopsy of a Startup Disaster. You can run through everything that you did right and everything you did wrong.
Done.
Very good,
Done.
because they're important lessons that nobody ever knows about until they've done it.
Yeah.
So rock on. Thank you, Diesel.
Cool. Thanks very much, man.
Signing off.